Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Okay, folks, let's quickly start off with the price of Bitcoin and the charts because we're seeing some strength here despite, the market downturn that we saw yesterday and even the stock market with its futures in the red. Both are actually up today. And specifically with Bitcoin, it is still trying to break out of that consolidation zone or channel here, and it's attempting to break out again. So still seeing some positive signs. There's no guarantees here, though, right? As always, we're looking at probabilities, but the ideal scenario is a relief rally up to about 80 to 85K. Maybe it overshoots and we hit the 90s, and then altcoins outperform Bitcoin. But again, no guarantees here. We could still see Bitcoin roll over to lows before we have any type of major relief rally. So this is something to just keep in mind. The positive signs is the MACD on the daily chart shows the bulls are still in control. The RSI continues to move away from the oversold zone and it has room to run. So that's very good. On the weekly chart, the RSI is still in the oversold zone, but it's starting to move away. And then the inverse correlation to all of this is the USDT dominance. So the stablecoin liquidity, that is continuing to show weakness and looks like it's going to break down. So if that's breaking down, it means stablecoin liquidity is starting to enter the market. So again, the inverse correlation. So this is why we want to look at all these different things. And we have, the relief rally. Now, again, this is not a move to new all-time highs. So please don't get me wrong. We are in a bear market. It is because we've had such oversold conditions, extreme oversold conditions, levels that have signaled the bear market bottom in the previous bear markets, like the FTX crash in 2022, $3,000 in December 2018, things along those lines. Plus, you have extreme fear. People have given up. People are putting out negative things about Bitcoin. There are articles saying Bitcoin's pointless and crypto is pointless and nothing can be saved anymore, right? So they're writing the death sentence of crypto yet again, but that's for the masses. But you and I, who are financially educated, we're looking at the charts, the fundamentals, the on-chain metrics, the macro, and much more. So fingers crossed that we get this relief rally. It'll be really nice. And I'm going to be looking to take some profits. And of course, once we roll over to test lows again or go further down, maybe into the 50Ks for Bitcoin, look to accumulate. So that's my strategy. And I will continue to update you guys as things progress. We are seeing some buying. So Michael Saylor's strategy has bought $1.3 billion in Bitcoin, and their holdings are now over 738,000 Bitcoin. This is insane. And obviously, I hope this works out for Michael Saylor because if it doesn't and there's a collapse, it would be pretty catastrophic for the market. I'm still wary of what he's doing with the amount of debt he's raising. I don't like the amount of leverage, and it just sets up a house of cards that could be easily taken down because he's going to have a target on his back. And I think he already has a target on his back. A lot of people are trying to short the hell out of MicroStrategy and take down Saylor, right? Those who are anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin, or just want to see him fail what he's doing here. So let's hope nothing bad happens here. Crypto funds are also seeing continued inflows. So crypto funds gained $619 million as markets hold up despite oil and war fears. So Bitcoin ETPs turned green year to date with $521 million inflows last week as total crypto assets rebounded despite geopolitical tensions linked to Iran. So these are all good signs, guys, and we're going to have to see how it all plays out. Now, something that's very interesting for Bitcoin, the total Bitcoin mine has crossed 20 million. So there's only 1 million BTC left to be mined. But this is where it gets fascinating, is that it will take another 114 years to mine because that's how the algorithm is set up. And the difficulty rate increases. It becomes much harder, much more difficult to mine Bitcoin. So we know that there's not fully 20 million out there. There's a lot of Bitcoin that has been lost, right? And people who lost their private keys, threw away hard drives, all these things. So it is not truly 20 million that has been mined, and is going to be less than 21 million once it's all said and done. But Pretty incredible. 114 years to mine the next 1 million. That's certainly going to be beyond the lifespan of many of us who are here, but we want to take advantage of the technology and asset class. But pretty incredible when you think about it. Now, folks, a great place where you can buy Bitcoin, altcoins, and even gold and silver is on iTrust Capital. And you can do it via an IRA where you get huge tax benefits. So if you have a long-term view on these asset classes, you can invest via the IRA and get those taxes exemptions because many of you know there's capital gains taxes when you sell your crypto. Well, you can buy, sell, and trade gold and silver and crypto. Once again, in the IRA, you can roll over your existing 401k and IRA to iTrust Capital's version, and you can buy and sell 24/7. It's low cost, no monthly fees. They also offer a great custody solution. I believe this is the second safest way to custody your assets behind self-custody, where you control the private keys. They are using institutional grade custody such as Coinbase Prime, Fidelity, and much more. We know BlackRock utilizes Coinbase Prime. And their custody platform is a closed loop system. So even if someone hacks into your account, they can't withdraw any type of funds. And you can buy and sell and do a lot of things 24/7. It's low fees. And folks, the gold and silver that you can invest in on this platform is fully redeemable. It is not paper gold or silver like many platforms. So if you actually want to redeem the gold bars or the silver bars, you can do that. So this platform is legit. I have an account with them. And folks, if you sign up with my link, you can get $100 funding bonus. So if you'd like to learn more about iTrust Capital, check out the link in the description. Now, folks, the big news of the day is coming from the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq exchange partners with Kraken Exchange for issuer-centric tokenized equities. We're seeing stock exchanges, banks, and the biggest financial institutions in the world moving towards tokenization. So it's amazing to see these names in the headlines. Sometimes I have to pinch myself because I've been here since 2016. I couldn't even imagine the type of adoption we're seeing. Everyone is on board and they're looking to build on blockchain rails. So Nasdaq, the world's second largest stock exchange by market capitalization, is expanding its push into tokenized equities through a partnership with crypto exchange Kraken and its infrastructure affiliate Bakkt. The exchange said Monday it plans to support equity tokenization in a way that preserves issuer control as it looks to connect traditional market infrastructure with blockchain-based networks. Nasdaq has partnered with Payward, Kraken's parent company, and its subsidiary Bakkt, the issuer behind X stocks, to develop an equities transformation gateway. Here's a quote. Tokenization has the potential to unlock the benefits of an always-on financial system, enhancing how investors access markets, how issuers engage with shareholders, Nasdaq President Tal Cohen said. The plan builds on Nasdaq's tokenization proposal filed with the U.S. SEC regulators in September 2025, as well as Kraken's acquisition of X stocks issuer Bakkt in December. This is huge, guys. Again, we've been talking about it for years. The direction is the token economy. No more opening or closing bell, 24/7, 365 trading, no holidays and weekends and all that. And these assets are opened up to global markets. It's not possible right now for everyone to access the New York Stock Exchange or the Nasdaq and the assets they have listed. But when they are on tokenized formats, it's going to be a lot easier. So more liquidity coming in. There's going to be more fractionalization. You can put the assets to work in DeFi. So a slew of benefits here. So incredible news. I mean, don't miss how big this is, folks. The biggest of the biggest here getting involved. This is a testament to the power of the blockchain. And they're not only looking to do this in the US, they're looking to do this overseas. Look at this. Nasdaq links EU markets to Boris Stuttgart's tokenized settlement venue. So the Nasdaq said it is working with Boris Stuttgart's group's tokenized settlement platform Citurion to connect its European trading venues to infrastructure designed to settle tokenized securities using distributed ledger technology. According to Monday's announcement, the collaboration will initially focus on structured products and aims to support faster settlement of tokenized assets across European capital markets. So again, this is not just a US thing. This is a global asset class, a global technology. And as I've been beating the drum on for years, The future capital markets, economies, and governments are all going to run on blockchain rails. And for the first time in history, you can partake in the network and hold the respective token of the blockchains that are going to serve as the rails. Now, here's some very big news, and this is huge adoption news. So, Aon tests stablecoin payments for insurance premiums with Paxos and Coinbase. So, you may say, who is Aon? And I personally did not know of them before, but they are one of the world's largest insurance brokers, and they're testing the use of stablecoins to pay insurance payments or premiums, highlighting the growing role of digital dollars in traditional financial infrastructure following the passage of the Genius Bill last year. In a Monday announcement, UK-based Aon said it completed a pilot that settled insurance premiums for clients, including Coinbase and Paxos, using USDC on Ethereum and PayPal USD on Solana. So notice they're not just using one chain or one stablecoin. You're going to use multiple because it's going to be a multi-chain world. There's going to be many different stablecoins and different tokenized assets. So this is amazing adoption. One of the largest insurance brokers, right? Has nothing to do with crypto, but they're integrating crypto. So don't miss how big this is. So Tim Fletcher, CEO of Aon Financial Services Division, said the pilot reflects the company's effort to explore stablecoins as a payment rail, predicting the tokenized assets will become more widely used in financial transactions. Aon said in August that its analysis showed 120 reissuers wrote nearly $2 trillion of gross written premium in 2024. So a lot of that volume and transaction, all these things are going to come to blockchain, and the use of stablecoins will be a part of that. So incredible adoption news here, guys. These are things you want to send to the crypto skeptics and people who they don't understand. They just read certain FUD headlines. Oh, this is a scam. Oh, this is a Ponzi, right? They don't go beyond that. They don't educate themselves, but they need to understand how the technology is being applied, what are the benefits, and who's building with it. Right. And it's probably companies that they currently use or are familiar with, but they don't know. They don't go that extra step to take the time to research and educate themselves. So you want to send these type of news items, the Nasdaq news, the Aon news, right, to those folks. I highly recommend you do that. And on the topic of adoption, look at this. Banks will run RWAs on 2 blockchain rails, says Redstone co-founder. So again, like I was saying, multi-chain world, right? So institutional adoption of real-world assets is splitting between public and permission networks, exposing a divide between the liquidity advantages of blockchains like Ethereum and privacy demands driving systems such as Canton network. The divergence is becoming more pronounced as tokenized assets gain traction among major asset managers. Marcin Kazimierak, if I'm saying that right, co-founder of blockchain oracle provider Redstone, said product development is likely to occur on public blockchains while permission systems are better suited for institutional processes that require confidentiality. Here's a quote that he gave. He said, there are some operations between institutions that simply have to stay private. And this is the value proposition that Canton offers very effectively. Now, a few things to unpack here. He's absolutely right. I've talked a lot about it, that many banks and institutions will have their own internal private permission chains, but they will bridge to public chains because that's where the liquidity and the settlement will happen. But privacy is very important to many of these institutions. They can't have certain data out there. Now, Canton, which I'm a holder of, the token I'm a holder of, and I've told you guys, watch this one from a long time ago, right? They are backed by many big Wall Street firms like Goldman Sachs and Citadel, and they're a public chain that has privacy built in. So that's what's unique about them. And they're getting a lot of institutional adoption. So it's why I'm bullish on it and I hold it in my portfolio. And I think privacy is going to be a huge narrative in the next bull market as more institutions come on board. Now, security is the most important thing, but privacy is the next, right? Because they're not going to put certain information out there on public chains where it can be exposed. So I think this is where you're going to see a lot of public chains are going to look to improve their privacy features, whether it be zero knowledge proof, ZK, or, some sort of side chain that they offer that has privacy. So these are the developments that are going to happen. But I think this is spot on. Institutions are definitely going to want privacy, but are obviously going to leverage public chains. Okay, moving ahead, the EU's regulated blockchain securities market adds first bank participant. So the development and innovation continues around the globe. So Amina, a Swiss regulated crypto bank, has joined a blockchain based settlement platform for tokenized securities operating under the European Union's DLT pilot regime, marking another step toward integrating digital asset infrastructure with traditional capital markets. The Zug, Switzerland based company, announced Monday that it has become a listing sponsor on the EU regulated platform 21X, making Amina the venue's first fully regulated bank participant. Amina said the move will allow it to support companies issuing tokenized securities on 21X through its partnership with Tokeny, if I'm saying that right, a Luxembourg based company that provides technology for creating and managing tokenized financial assets. Guys, the innovation, the development that's happening, and it's not just the private sector, but also the public. You got the government and the private sector working together. So this is incredible stuff. Now, look at this news. Stablecoin payment startup CAS raises $80 million at a $600 million valuation. So not only are you seeing innovation, you're seeing expansion, mergers, acquisitions, and huge investments as everybody's looking to take their bets to build the infrastructure for what's to come, right? So Stablecoin Payments CAS has raised $80 million in a funding round that values the company at $600 million, according to a Bloomberg report on Monday, citing people familiar with the matter. The round was led by QED Investors and Left Lane Capital, and CAS expects an annual revenue run rate of $100 million in 2026, according to Bloomberg. The company reported plans to use the funding to expand across North America, Latin America, and Middle East, while also adding staff, securing licenses, and developing new products. The raise is the latest sign that investor appetite for stablecoin-focused payment firms remains strong, even as the broader crypto markets have pulled back in the recent months. So I think everybody recognizes that stable coins are here to stay. And obviously, with the Genius Act passed in the United States, the race is on. So you're seeing investments, development, innovations, partnerships, lots happening. It's pretty exciting. And I think once we have the Clarity Act passed, as I've been saying, that's going to kick off this super cycle because that has the meat and potatoes, all the different moving parts and components for crypto. And it's going to allow the trillions that's sitting on the sidelines to come in, and it will allow these institutions to do more building and go beyond just piloting and testing, but into production, right? So this is why we need that Clarity Act passed, man. We got to get that done, especially this year, and get it done ahead of time of the next bull market, right? Because right now we're in a bear market. We're going to bottom out, but then we're going to slowly start to move our way out. And then we're going to be back in a bull cycle before you know it. But if you don't have the Clarity Act, we need that. We need that to go to the next level. And again, I think that kicks off the super cycle of this market. So folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Some very big items here, very bullish news. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Subscribe if you haven't as yet. Folks, be sure to subscribe to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Be sure to grab a copy of my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. If you want to expand your knowledge, knowledge is power. You want to expand your knowledge about crypto and blockchain tech, this is the course for you. So check it out. It's a comprehensive course packed with tons of value. Go to mycryptocourse.com. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.